What's new from Apple? There's the new iPhone 16 Pro, built for Apple Intelligence. And it comes with the all-new camera control, giving you an easier way to quickly access your camera tools. The new Apple Watch Series 10 has our biggest display and our thinnest design ever. And this? It's the sound of active noise cancellation, now available on one of 2 new AirPods 4 models. So quiet. Check out all of the new products and new features at apple.com. You can even buy yourself something new. See apple.com for product availability updates. Apple Intelligence coming this fall.
Sergeant and Mrs. Smith, you are going to love this house.
Is that a tub in the kitchen?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
The average person spends 10 minutes a day moving their bowels, which is just enough time to read the Rich Voss book called Everything I Know. For another fact, please say, tell me another fact. To quit, say, stop.
If you just read the bio for Dr. Steve, host of Weird Medicine on Sirius XM 103 and made popular by 2 really comedy shows, Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez, you would have thought that this guy was a bit of, a clown.
Why can't you give me the respect that I'm entitled to?
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola virus dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain now and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent of Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
From the world-famous Cardiff Electric Network studios in beautiful downtown Tukey City, it's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. I'm Dr. Steve, with my little pal, Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medicine provider, who gives me street cred with the whack alternative medicine assholes. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And we got NP Mel B. Hello, NP Mel B.
Hi.
This is a show for people who have never listened to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you have a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call, 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine and at DrScottWM. Visit our website at drsteve.com for podcasts, medical news, and stuff you can buy. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on this show without talking it over with your healthcare provider. Very good. Okay, well, Amazon, we're done with them. So stuff.drsteve.com still works, but the only thing that's on there now is the Phoenix penis pounding device and the Rhodey robotic tuner. All the Amazon links are gone. They can kiss my ass. They stole over $1,000 from us, and we're not paying you. And there's no recourse, nothing you can do. It's just the most ridiculous bunch of bullshit. They can kiss my ass. So, if we come up with a different we should do Walmart. Do a Walmart affiliate.
There you go. Yeah.
What the hell?
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Anyway, anybody that has a small hardware store in a small town, that was going to be pissed if we do Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, although our small little
it's still doing okay.
One does very well.
Yeah,
because people like going there because they can get help without having to ask for somebody. Although, I am going to say, the Walmart Plus app, have you used this fucking thing?
I use it always.
Oh my God, you go in there and you want to know, you no more wandering around Walmart. You walk in there and say, well, where's this thing? And it goes, oh, that's on aisle H23.
Oh, wow.
That is fantastic.
I don't even go in that store anymore.
No, do you not? You just buy everything?
Curbside pickup.
There you go. I still like to walk around it. I don't know what it is. When it first came out, my friend Joe and I would go to Walmart to buy batteries and come out of there with like $50 worth of crap. And that was like $50. So this was 20. No, God.
Longer than that.
Oh, my God. It was 35 years ago.
40 years ago,
yeah. So we would joke that we'd come out with $50 worth of stuff. That's like $200 now of crap that you didn't need. But anyway, yeah, we went to buy a ski bob once. He had a boat, and it was a pontoon boat, and I could ski behind it because I was skinny. But Joe would get on the damn thing, and he would be up to his waist trying to get the ski up above the water because he was a big guy. So we went to buy this ski bob thing, and we were singing the ski bob song on the way to Walmart. We were going to go buy it, the ski bob, the ski bob. We were so excited. We were young, and both of us were single still, and it was just we didn't have a lot of other things to this isn't that great of a story, by the way, but it's kind of funny, particularly if you know Joe, which nobody does. No. But anyway, he's just a big, goofy guy, real estate guy. I love him. And so we were all excited about the ski bob, and he was just had this big, like a kid at Christmas. We were getting the ski bob, and we got it all blown up, which took forever because we didn't have a compressor. We had to blow the fucking thing up with our lungs. And he was just laying on the ground, just wasted after trying to blow this thing up. And then we finally get it out in the water. What it is, it's like one of those banana boat things that you drag behind. But it was, like a two-person one, maybe one or two people. And we got it out there. And I rode it, and he rode me around. He said, okay, it's my turn for the ski bob. And he gets out there, and he gets up on it, and then bloop, boop, falls over on the other side. And then he gets up and bloop, falls over on the other side. Then he finally got on, and he's like, and then bloop, bloop, and he fell over. Yes, and by the end of it, he got back in the boat, and he's like, fucking ski bob. I hate the fucking ski bob. Anyway, it's just fun Walmart story, how his opinion about this thing went from 0 to negative a million pretty quickly. But anyway, Amazon can kiss my ass. Maybe we'll try Walmart or something like that. I'd like to have some affiliate where if we're talking about things like a supplement that people could go and buy them, Check out roadie.drsteve.com. That's roadie.drsteve.com for the Roadie robotic tuner and the Roadie coach, which will teach you how to play your instrument. And if you have a birthday coming up for someone who plays a stringed instrument, it's under $200 of one of the best gifts, and it will be something that they won't be expecting. And the best gift is something that you'd love to have but would never buy for yourself. And that this is it right here, the roadie.drsteve.com. It's RODIE.drsteve.com. Check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. And we're still doing Patreon, patreon.com/weirdmedicine. They're getting some stuff ahead of time. We're doing some exclusive content. All the normal world stuff will be put there. And eventually, when I get ownership of it back, it will all go on there as bits of their own. And then if you want me to say fluid to your mama, cameo.com/weirdmedicine or shoutout.com/weirdmedicine. Please don't forget to check out Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. That's simplyherbals.net. And that's about all I got. Anyway, I'm going to put a link on our website at drsteve.com to I did the premiere of my Ask Dr. Steve segment on Normal World with Dave Landau. The first one was, what's the worst way to die?
I saw that. That was fabulous.
Spoiler alert, it's Fournier gangrene. And then don't Google image that. And number 2, I did one on deviated septum, which if I'd known the first one was going to derail their show for like 3 minutes, I wouldn't have followed it up with deviated septum. But this week is vapor lock, a.k.a. penis captivus.
Yikes.
That's where the the old schlong gets trapped in the vaginal canal. And when I thought that it was kind of sexist to make it male-centric like that. Like, it's not, the members being held captive by the evil, vagina. So I asked the AI, I said, what would it be called if we made this more female-centric and made it fair? And it was like, you shouldn't be making fun of issues like this. Vaginismus and other things are real medical problems. And it was just, it was being a whole, basically.
Are we saying that this is a bad thing? Being trapped?
Right, exactly. Well, it's only bad if, like, if the woman's husband is coming in.
If her husband's coming on.
You can't disengage fast enough. Now, dogs, it's different. It's called I can't remember, the canine copulatory seal or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. The veterinarians know. And they have a bulbous end to their penis, and being attached together enhances the chance of fertility and sperm staying where it's supposed to be and all that stuff. My dog, whose name was Alpo, by the way, who never had any fun, was out back, and this dog in heat came into our backyard. And it was being chased by a bunch of other male dogs. Well, she let Alpo, get all up in that mess.
There you
and
go.
He's going at it. Now, the other male dogs show up, and the female takes off, right? And she's running away from him. I don't know if she's being coy or she just didn't want to be, gangbanged by 10 different dogs. And she goes running. Well, he's got this thing going on where he's attached to her.
Stuck.
And she was dragging him by his cock up this hill. And he was on his side, and she's running, trying to scramble and run. And he's yelping and just being dragged on his side by his cock.
Oh.
Yeah, it was horrible. I didn't get that into the normal world thing. They only give me 2 minutes.
No, I think that's a reasonable
But I will bring it
part of
up
the
when I'm there.
I think you should. They might extend your time.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do eclipse coverage in Dallas with them because that's where they are on August 8th, and I'll be on the show August 9th. And then we'll, debrief and all that stuff. But maybe we can bring up some of these topics that I can't. Fuck off.
Can we go? Can I go, please?
Anyway.
Do I have to have a special kind of license to drive the Nerd Bus?
What, to be on television with
No,
comedians?
to do the Dallas trip.
That's what that is, though.
Oh.
It's a TV show.
Oh, I thought it was just to see the eclipse.
No, I'm. Okay, he's just not listening.
I'm in trouble.
No, it's just, I said, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't
Everybody
matter.
listening knows exactly what I said. Anyway, so there's that. So watch out for that. It's Normal World. You can watch it on YouTube. You don't have to, subscribe to Blaze TV if you have issues with them politically or whatever. You can just watch the show on YouTube. So like and subscribe on YouTube. Dave Landau is one of the sweetest, nicest people in the business. And he's going to be in Nashville March 31st. And I have tickets to that, and I can't go because it turns out that's Easter Sunday. So if someone wants tickets, email me. I asked my patrons if anybody wanted to go, and nobody was, proximal to Nashville. But if you're in Nashville and you want 2 tickets to Zany's March 31st, 2024, send me an email, and the first person I can communicate with, I'll send them to them.
Cool.
All right. What else? That's it. Mel B, did you bring anything for the show today?
Well, hell no, I did not.
Yeah, that's a girl.
There you go.
Good job.
Okay, so
I just
let's.
kind of rolled out of bed and came on over.
Well,
There you go.
Yeah, you've been having trouble sleeping, right?
Yes, very much so.
Maybe we should talk about insomnia for a minute.
Yes, let's do.
It sucks.
Well, tell us how it started and all that stuff, and we'll see if we can fix you.
Well, once upon a time, my husband left me.
Oh, yeah, well.
What a dummy.
Yeah, well.
He must be a knucklehead.
So I think part of it stems from the fact that I get
I was just trying to get it to just say douchebag.
Douchebag. Yeah. So some
He's
of
a
it
fucking
started.
idiot.
So I'm scared. I'm a big scaredy cat. That's part of it. I can't sleep because I'm afraid somebody's going to break in my house.
Really?
It's ridiculous anxiety.
Yeah, you know, I used to have that when I had my panic syndrome because I caught somebody breaking into my house and then I had, you know, sort of PTSD from that. And one of the things I kept thinking about was, you know, that somebody would come into my house and then take my phone off the hook. This is before cell phones, so I couldn't make a phone call. So a friend of mine who was an electronics guy said, well, we can just put a switch on it so they can't do that. We'll just cut it off and then your phone upstairs will still work. That made me feel better.
Wow, cool.
You know, you are armed.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you have Sabre Red pepper gel because I bought you some. Can you lift up your microphone a little bit so that you're actually talking into the mic part? There you go.
Okay.
And so you have that. So what would make you feel better? Just having somebody there?
Probably.
Do we need to do Mel B Dial-A-Date?
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I might be jealous, though.
Yes, yes. I don't think they'd go over so well.
Yeah, we did We did sort of a date or a dating show on this show once, and I think Dr. Scott won.
I lost. No, I lost.
Oh no, you lost. That's
my
right.
God, it was
oh no,
terrible.
it was
traumatic.
It was Magic Mike that won.
Yes,
won a
dramatic.
date with Big Joe, and
She chose Magic Mike over me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Aw, so
well,
sad.
Magic Mike sounds more her speed. But for people who don't know, Big Joe is my mother-in-law, and she's dumb. And but yeah, they won $2 off any Jell-O item at Piccadilly Cafeteria for their date. So. But yeah, maybe we could do something like that.
There you go.
I don't know. Some of our listeners, though, I think you'd be more scared having them in your house at night than worrying about somebody coming in.
I was thinking the same
Good
thing.
chance of that, yeah.
So do you take anything to help you sleep at night regularly, or?
I have tried Ambien.
Okay.
No, you haven't just tried Ambien.
Well, I've been on Ambien. I've been taking Ambien for years.
Did it work at one point?
It did. Like, put me straight into a coma.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would sleep good for usually about 4 or 5 hours, wake up, and then could go back to sleep, though.
Yeah.
Trazodone,
Yeah.
Remeron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott?
Well, I've got some other ideas.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
wax eloquent. This is the time to
couple
do that.
things. Number one, I always like to make sure people get their labs. I love to check hormones and make sure that hormones are working properly.
Correct.
That's one thing I've noticed with me, Mel, is when I have my insomnia, I can tell my testosterone's low. And if my testosterone's really low, then I don't have a lot of energy during the daytime to burn it out. So I don't have great energy in the daytime. I don't sleep well at night. But if I have great energy in the daytime, you burn it off.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, our approach in Chinese medicine, with herbal medicine specifically, when you're talking about insomnia, is sometimes I like to give something like the fatigue reprieve we have at Simply Herbals. I give it to boost them up in the daytime.
Not a plug, though.
Not a plug at all. No, just it's one. It has astragalus and some ginseng in it, but it'll give you energy during the daytime, so you get more energy. Then you sleep at night, and then. If that's not the case, if you feel pretty good and you have lots of energy, then I'll give you Stress List, which is a nighttime kind of formula just to calm the mind.
Okay.
I do that. I take that at nighttime. Sometimes I do melatonin. Sometimes I have some special chocolates that I like to nibble on.
Well, Mel B doesn't eat chocolate, but yeah.
You don't like chocolate?
I do not eat
Oh
chocolate.
my gosh, that's un-American, isn't it? That's like not liking baseball or the American flag or apple pie or something.
I don't like peanut butter
or Grateful
either.
Dead. I mean,
Really?
come on.
Oh, the
You don't like
smell of
peanut
peanut butter. The smell.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we need to get her some Reese's peanut butter.
Yes,
I
we
know.
do.
Complete and
I need
total
to make
waste.
her my homemade, because I make my own peanut butter. I make my own peanut butter and my own chocolates and all this stuff.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
because I'm awesome. So there are, but if your labs are normal and you've got good sleep hygiene practices, you go to bed every night and you exercise and you're doing everything, but you just still can't get a good night's sleep, which is typically what happens to me, then I do go for those supplements.
The best I ever slept was after whitewater rafting on the New River.
Oh, you just were exhausted.
Because you are in cold water.
Yep.
And now you're wearing wetsuit, but you're still cold. Your body is still having to generate heat, which takes up a lot of energy to do that. And then you're going past the point of exhaustion because it's so much fun. Another one would be snow skiing, because I would do that past the point of exhaustion because it was just, you hated to stop. And, if we could find an exercise that was that much fun, I would do it all the time. But what I found is when I really have a lot of activity during the day, I really do sleep better. Now, are you walking or doing any kind of working out during the day or anything?
Not as much as I was.
Okay. Well, that's something you and I
walking
could
about 3-4 miles a day. But here lately, I've been lucky to get to.
Did you notice that helped when you were doing that?
Yeah, I did sleep better for a while.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the daytime. Mm-hmm. So this cycle that I'm on right now and not sleeping, but maybe 3 or 4 hours, and it's constant waking up through that 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
That's been going on for about a week and a half.
Okay.
And I'm just exhausted and grouchy.
Oh,
well, there is another factor, though. I mean, if you don't mind me saying what medication we started you on this week.
Oh, the steroids?
Yeah, I mean, corticosteroids, when you're taking those, so many people say that they just can't sleep.
Yeah, and I'm one of those too.
And that may be all it is. When are you going to be off of them? You're pretty close,
got like
right?
2 or 3 more days, I think, 2 more days. Yeah. Today and then 2 more.
Be interesting to see if all of a sudden you're sleeping great.
I'm hoping. Yep. Now, it was going on before that. That's kind of what led up,
right,
I think, and caused the trigger and the need for the steroids.
Let's do this. You'll be done with the steroids on Monday, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go walking Monday after work.
Okay.
And we'll just walk and walk and walk till we can't walk anymore.
And the weather's supposed to be really nice, too. I mean, it's supposed to you can get some vitamin D, some sunshine, and that should help, too.
We can take the Ralphie out, too, because he'll work you out walking him.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah,
sleep is hard.
And let's see if that makes a difference, and then we'll report back.
Yes, sounds good.
But Scott's other magic ingredient, where it's legal, is THC.
Yeah, where it's legal, that's correct.
And you want indica.
And indica is
if you're not doing
couch,
pure THC, which is a different beast altogether. Indica and sativas, they have these different balances of CBD and delta 8 and delta 9 THC and all these different molecules that are in there. But the indica tends to be more sedating, whereas the sativa tends to be more wake your ass up and stimulating. So but pure THC would do it as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But we can't recommend that to you because you live in a state where it's not legal. So obviously impossible to do.
Impossible. Unless you drove across the state line.
Right.
No,
even
close to the state
impossible.
lines.
Yeah, still impossible. But anyway, yeah.
So there are lots of options, but I think number one, exercise I would do first, and I'd save the hypnotics and stuff for the very last resort, I think. Yeah.
Well, the all-cause mortality, though, is increased in people that use hypnotics for sleep on a regular basis. And they don't know why. But it may be because people with insomnia have underlying medical problems, or it could be that the sedating medications have something to do with it. But so I really try to get people off of those if you can, unless, a lot of our patients are, terminally ill. So you don't worry about it quite as much with them. Something that's going to cause a problem 15 years from now. But I'd love to see you be able to get off of that. Now, I was on Lunesta, which was the, baby sister of
Ambien.
Yeah. And I was on 3 milligrams of that, which was the max dose. And I weaned myself off of it at 3 and then 2 and then 1. Some of these things, after a while, will have paradoxical effects as well.
Yeah, and I think if you take, especially for Ambien is supposed to be only taken for a short period of time.
Well,
it's my understanding. No, that's my understanding.
That's their joke is, take only for a short, but everyone takes them forever once they get started on it.
But that doesn't mean there aren't some other good, some other good, options.
Well, and the other thing is, if you had a patient and you told them, or if they told you, this stuff that I take that I've been taking for years doesn't do anything, what would you tell them? You would tell them, well, let's get you off of it.
Right.
You know?
Stop it and try something different.
Yeah.
Now, I did try Lunesta once.
Yeah, and?
Crazy ass violent dreams.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I was afraid that the kids would just get up and go to the bathroom, and I would incorporate that into a dream and somebody was going to get hurt.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was screaming at one of my kids one night.
In real life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
in real
wow.
life.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was wrong with me.
Wow.
Kind of freaked her out a little bit.
That's not good.
Well, they say once those things start happening, they don't go away with time.
Oh, wow.
I've told this story about my friends who used to do this thing called Big Sex Night, and they would take an Ambien and then have intercourse, and then they would sleep really well afterward, and they thought that somehow it enhanced their sexual congress.
Mm-hmm.
And one night she woke up after this, and he was on a ladder washing windows on the second floor of their house.
Uh-oh.
Completely asleep.
Yeah. That's
now, he was awake, but he was not, once they woke him up, he had no recollection of it.
Right. Now, I've never done anything like that with the Ambien, but the Lunesta messed with me a little bit. So
well, maybe
I didn't take that anymore.
Wean you off the Ambien.
Yeah, I think so. What are you on? You on 5 or 10?
5.
Okay.
The doctor won't.
That's not bad.
Easy.
That's not bad.
Go
That's not bad.
2.5.
Yeah,
and
that's easy.
Then 1.25, and then
And I have lots of nights where I don't take it.
And I can
don't take
supplement.
it every single night.
Okay. I'll hook you up with some stress less.
Yeah, I can probably just not take it.
And still not sleep.
And still not sleep.
There you go. Well, see, that's
right. If it doesn't change anything,
Mm-hmm.
then we could get you on something else.
Yeah, I've got stuff.
Okay, well, we'll do the saga of Mel B's insomnia.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people listening have the
God.
same fucking problem.
Yes, me.
Yeah.
All
right, so we're going to walk. We're going to stop the Ambien.
Yep.
We're
Yeah, and you're
try
going to get
some
off the
things.
steroids, and we'll see if Monday night you sleep better because we're going to work out.
But you know what Mel B's she's going to have to do is remind us all because you and I will forget because I still can't remember to use that vibrator on my stomach before dinner.
Oh shit! I've completely forgotten about that.
It's been a month. Neither one of us have remembered to do it. I even brought one of my little massage guns home to do it, and it set it on my counter. Still can't remember.
Now mine's in the closet, so I will. If you remind me on the way out, I'll get it out and I'll try it today.
Ooh, in the closet. That's a special.
So
closet.
while we're talking about our own bullshit, well, not that your thing was bullshit. Your thing wasn't bullshit.
You're so sweet. I'm still stuck on the vibrator.
Well,
I want to circle back.
That's my head. We'll talk about that later.
It might work for a woman. It certainly has no benefit for a man, the kind of vibrator that I've got. It's a gun thing with the ball on the end of it. Now, I might be able to jam it up against your cooch and turn it on, and you might get something out of it. But I tried, messing around with it. I just couldn't get it. Couldn't get it
in the right position, Dr. Steve.
No, there just wasn't. It just doesn't. It's not amenable to the male anatomy to help it in any way.
Gotcha.
No, they used to have these vibrators that you would strap to your hand, and then supposedly you were supposed to massage people with it, but that wasn't what that was for at all. You're supposed to lube up your hand and then strap this thing to your hand and then, just grab hold and...
Don't we have some music that would be appropriate for this story? There you go. Oh, my gosh.
That song is off YouTube. Somebody asked me where it was, and I was going to point them to it, and it's gone.
Gone.
Yep.
Well,
I hate that. I couldn't find it anywhere. How did things disappear from the internet in 2024? I mean, I went to try to find my appearance on Jerry Springer, and it was before the internet really kind of was a thing, and can't find it anywhere. It's nowhere.
That's a bummer.
And you would think that every Jerry Springer would somehow be out there somewhere.
That's a total bummer.
Yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor. You can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those like lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Hi, I'm Lara, and this is the Lara Bar story. I was on a hike in the Rocky Mountains when I felt inspired to make something that tastes indulgent and delicious using just fruit and nuts. 20 years later, Lara Bar is still at it. From chocolate chip cookie dough to cherry pie, there's a Lara Bar made for you. 100% real, 100% delicious. That's Lara Bar. Find your flavor at larabar.com.
Start your electric journey right here, right now. With a Volvo XC90 Recharge, our plug-in hybrid SUV with extended range. For more everyday electric journeys on a single charge, with a hybrid option for longer adventures. Contact your local retailer to book a test drive or design your own vehicle at volvocars.com/US. The Volvo XC90 Recharge Plug-in Hybrid, the electric car with a backup plan.
This episode is brought to you by Dove. You use all the right skincare products for your face, but your body has been missing out. With new Dove Serum Body Wash, you can give your body the vitamin C glow it's been wanting, the hydration boost it's been craving, and the active skincare ingredients it deserves. It's time for your body care era. New Dove Serum Body Wash. Get Dove or get FOMO.
All aboard! Welcome to the Friskies Express. Please keep all paws and tails inside the train. To the right, you'll see Crunch Canyon. To your left is Filet Falls. Now you're passing Party Mix Peak. Today's Delicioso tour is almost over. But don't worry, with Friskies, there's always more to explore. Check out friskies.com to explore more.
No, it's good. I was there with my ex-wife. Trying to say how awesome she was. And even then, I was lying.
Maybe not.
I think we've all been there. Yeah. So this is turning into a therapy session instead of a medical show.
Well, yeah.
And it's not helpful.
And it's not helping. We're enjoying each other's pain and suffering since we've all been there.
Well, speaking of pain and suffering, so I got a bunch of lab work back this week that sucked. And, I fell down the stairs. I think I told that story.
No.
Yeah, I fell down these stairs coming out of the studio, landed on my side of my neck and my right shoulder. And
how long was that?
About 6 weeks ago.
Oh,
and it was stupid. It wasn't any. My hands were full, and I just sort of missed the top step, and I just went head first down. And, there's a fan at the bottom of the stairs that's supposed to be pumping cold air up here. Yep. And I just...
Doesn't work.
Well, it's not on, but...
You mashed it.
It's better when I have it on than when I don't. But, I just barely missed it.
Yep. Well.
And, I've been having muscle pain and neck pain. And I said, well, it's just from falling. I'm lucky that's all I got. But it won't go away, and it's just getting worse. Mm-hmm. And then I remembered that a long time ago, I had this thing called polymyalgia rheumatica, although I questioned the diagnosis even at the time. But I went to my doctor, and I go to this place called a Center for Healthy Aging. But anyway,
this is gonna be.
But she's very thorough, and she drew a bunch of blood, and shit, I've got like class 3 renal failure, and it's like, where the hell did that come from?
Where'd that come from?
And yeah, my liver enzymes were screwed up, and
I know where that came from.
My creatinine was screwed up. Well, that's what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
And my glucose was elevated, and it's like that's never. I am categorized as overweight, but I'm not obese and there's no diabetes in my family. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Way too many things. And also my muscle enzyme, which is called creatine phosphokinase, CPK, was also elevated, which is a sign of skeletal muscle or cardiac muscle damage. So I started thinking about it. And it's like, okay, well, I think I know where all of this is coming from, and it's all coming from my medication. I am on a medication for my blood pressure called losartan, which is known to cause renal insufficiency or to, take your creatinine. Creatinine is what we look at for renal failure. And it's a molecule that's very efficiently filtered out by the kidneys. So when the kidneys stop efficiently filtering, the creatinine in your bloodstream will rise.
Gotcha.
So I had elevated creatinine. And I am also on a statin. And the statin, presumably is supposed to help prevent heart attack and stroke, which is in my family. But it also can mess with your liver enzymes and cause peripheral neuropathy and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Scott, told me to take it just once a week, and I've been doing that, but only just for 1 week. So and that can cause and it can also cause the CPK, the muscle damage. So the statin is gone. So the losartan's gone, the statin's gone. Now the last prescription medication that I'm on is a thing called chlorthalidone, which is a diuretic. It's a thiazide type diuretic. As opposed to a loop diuretic like Lasix or furosemide is. Right. And it can cause elevated blood sugar. So it's like, fuck this, all my medicine that's supposed to be preventing disease is killing me. So I'm off all of it.
Cool.
And we'll see.
Give yourself a bell first.
All right, I'll give myself a bell.
Give thyself a bell.
And give yourself a chance to reset with the walking. And
Yeah. No, I told her, let me just see if I can do this through lifestyle changes. So I bought a bunch of packs of Tofurkey, and Tofurkey can kiss my ass. It's
not awful, isn't it?
Well, I got their version of kielbasa, and it's like, okay, I'll just eat tofu. I can eat tofu. I don't want to eat fake meat. Did you ever see that movie Polar Express?
Yes.
Okay, well, you know how the faces... This was one of the first sort of CGI animated movies, and the faces are not quite right. It's called the Uncanny Valley, where we're so used to seeing faces that if they're off by just a little bit, like if an alien came in here and tried to pose as a human, unless they were truly human, just alien brain in a human body, we would probably be able to detect it because we can detect humans and human faces, even when they're distorted and weird, and we can tell a fake human face. So this was like that. Tofurkey is like it's in the uncanny valley when it comes to fake meat. Now I ate it, but I'm trying to be. I've always been a little bit plant-based, but I'm going to be more plant-based. And I'm going to walk, I'm hydrating more, I'm going to do all those things that I should have been doing all this time because, I'm 68, still think I'm 18, and I think, well, fuck, nothing's ever going to happen to me. And all of a sudden I get a big fat dick slap in the face. And it's one thing to go, man, I'm an absurdist and a nihilist. Nothing matters, man, until all of a sudden, oblivion is staring you in the face. And then all of a sudden, so there's a couple of things kind of matter.
They have to reevaluate a little
I
bit.
want to live long enough to see Superman Legacy, the new James Gunn Superman movie, if nothing else.
Right on. I think, and that's the thing about the medications. I mean, there's so many of those things that are extremely, extremely important. And that's why it's so important that your doctor listens to you when you have those concerns.
Right.
And I know you don't have time, especially you guys in primary care.
I'm not in primary
care.
But
you know what I'm saying. But especially the folks in primary care just don't have a lot of times the luxury to sit. They have the knowledge, but they don't have the luxury of time to discuss a bunch of options.
Yeah.
And then if their primary care provider, if it's their nurse practitioner or PA or doc, whoever won't write them their prescription for statins, then they can potentially be dinged by the insurance companies, and if the
they can be sued.
Yeah, and if they don't pick, and if the patient doesn't pick up the medication from the pharmacy, the pharmacist can get red. I mean, it's a really challenging thing for everybody. Is my point.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying I'm not throwing I'm not saying anybody's fault. But I want to say it's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really so important for the guys on the front line to be really crystal clear with their patients and say, listen, there are some evidence for these things to work, and there are some times to use these medications, and here are some other options. And it's a big picture. It's not just lowering a statin makes you not have a heart attack.
Right.
There's a whole lot of other things.
Right. You can't. We've talked about that a lot.
Whatever the drug
where when they found the Norwegian study that people who ate a lot of fish had fewer heart attacks. So the American solution to that is you take a bunch of fish and you put them in a vat and you run, you render them down to the fish oil and then take it as a pill and then go on doing all the shit you were doing before, eating 2 Big Macs for lunch and stuff like that. So I don't have a grossly unhealthy lifestyle, but it's going to be significantly more healthy, and I'm just going to give it a try and see.
And I think my biggest complaint with Dr. Steve forever is my only complaint with him is his lack of sleep. Just going.
I got to have 7 hours a night.
And I think that'll help a bunch.
I tried to do that today, but I went to bed at 1. I woke up at 7. So what am I supposed to do? I had shit to do. I got up.
That's the problem.
Speaking of shit to do, I went to Johnson City. I was going to meet up with you, Mel B, if you were working, but you decided to sleep in because of your insomnia, which I understand.
This morning,
but I went to my son's place, and he's in college, straight A, senior in college, going to do amazing things. And I brought him some food, and I walk in his apartment, and as soon as I open the refrigerator, the smell, I was like, dude, there's something that's wrong in here.
Something has died in your refrigerator.
Oh, my God. Well, Tacie keeps buying him stuff, and he's not eating it, and he's just putting it in there. And even in the refrigerator, that doesn't stop things from dying. It just slows them down.
Exactly.
He had packs of, lunch meat, which is like, dude, don't eat this stuff anyway. But he had lunch meat, which is, by the way, highly processed, and it was green with mold. And it was like, bro. So I went through, he had to go somewhere with his fiance, and so I said, just let me work on the kitchen. I'm not being critical. I'm worried about your safety. And I went through the whole kitchen, and I took out 5 or 6 absolutely full garbage bags full of food that was not rotten necessarily, but out of date.
Yeah, for goodness sakes.
The last time I cleaned his place up, he said, "Will you clean my refrigerator for me?" I was like, "Sure," not knowing what I was getting myself into. And he actually had water that was out of date. I didn't even think water had a date on it, but he had bottled water in there that was literally, a year out of date.
Say, son, go put this on your flowers or in the toilet and use it.
I love the kid, and I don't want to embarrass him at all. So he doesn't listen, so it's fine. But
and he would listen even if he were sitting here. He wouldn't listen.
No, that's right. That's right. He'd be watching the Grizzlies. Yes. And if they're not on, he'd be watching the Grizzlies, sizzle reels and stuff. But it's not that. It's just it just boggled my mind. Mm-hmm. And he is such a germ freak, too. He'll call me and say, well, I left something out for 20 minutes. Is it still good? And it's like, how can you be a germ freak and have a refrigerator like this? It's just astounding to me. Yeah. So I told Tacie, quit buying him that shit.
Let him buy his own stuff, and then he'll make a little
when you
bit,
run out, go buy your own.
He'll do a little bit better. Anyway. It's just maturation. We all.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yep. No, he'll be fine. Listen, he got a 4.0. My problem was I said academics are your job, and I focused a lot on academics, and I didn't really instill a lot of these things.
His home economics skill set.
Correct. And the problem is his fiance, I figured, she would go, oh, God. He tells me she's as big a slobber as he is, if not worse.
It's the thing with that generation.
Yeah.
I tried real hard to not do that with my children. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yeah, I agree.
So did you have home economics when you were in middle school and high school and learn to sew and
So there was a class like that. I did not take it.
So I took that. It was
I did.
great. I still do it. I still do all that stuff.
Oh,
I can't sew a button on.
I can sew.
I still have.
I can stitch it on, but I can't sew it on.
I still have the pillowcase I made in home ec in the 8th grade.
I still have the football I made in home ec in 8th grade. right here at the school right behind your house.
Can you please stop bullshitting and
God,
get
it's
to
funny.
the question?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, home ec was fun. I just did it to be in there with the babes,
cute girls,
man.
right?
Oh my God.
I did that with typing too. I was the only guy in the typing class, but
Still the thing we use most from high school.
yeah.
That's the one thing
dude.
we use from high school.
I am so glad when I see people like my partner or Stuttering John who are, using one finger to type with, and they're dunk, 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 dunk. And, when I'm in front of a keyboard, before my neuropathy, I was 140 words a minute. And when you learn on a mechanical, and when I say mechanical, not like a mechanical keyboard like they got now, but a mechanical typewriter.
Oh, that's how I learned.
Yeah. If you get good on that, then you're good.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed.
So anyway, that's funny. Anyway, this is fascinating for everyone.
Hey, we got a good fluid family question.
Okay, all right.
After you
Number
do the
one thing,
disclaimer,
don't take advice from some asshole on the radio.
All right, what do you got?
So, hey,
I got
a
one
question.
from Johnny Longfeather too that we need to get to. Remind me.
Don Phillips is asking, why do some drugs need to be taken with foods while others must not?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But not easy for us, not for the lay person. Obviously, Mel B, you want to take that one?
Some of it has to do with fat in the food. It prevents the absorption of medications.
Give thyself a bell.
I think that might be my first bill.
Yeah, some things have to be absorbed. They will not be absorbed unless they're on an empty stomach. And some, actually, food can either enhance absorption or doesn't matter either way. And so some of them will say can be taken without regard to food. It doesn't matter in those cases. So if it says take it with a meal, they're either trying to prevent side effects.
Like nausea,
right?
Yeah.
Upset
abdominal
stomach.
pain, gastritis.
Give thyself a bell.
Vomiting.
Wait a minute.
I'm on a roll today, y'all.
Yeah, Tacie would be madder and shit.
Yeah. But and I think it's really important for people to know the difference between those medications. Because I tell you, if I take an NSAID like a Advil or Aleve or anything like that on an empty stomach, my stomach is just on fire.
So they'll tell you to take that with food to prevent side effects, but you can actually take it without regard to food as far as the absorption.
Yes.
But if you take it, so that's why. So those are the main reasons. Either it's better absorbed on an empty stomach, it's better absorbed with food, or it doesn't matter, but the side effects will be less if you take it with food. So great
Ambien
question.
is one of those medicines. If you take Ambien with a high-fat meal, it won't absorb well.
Oh, is that right? I wasn't aware of that.
So don't late night snacking.
Well, yeah, shouldn't
That's
be doing
something I
that
talk to
anyway.
my patients about. My Ambien doesn't work, and I said, "Well, what are you eating before bedtime?"
Yeah.
A bowl of cereal,
and a rasher of bacon.
the rest of my cheeseburger from dinner.
Fat back and possum grease.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you.
But don't, stop eating before you go to bed.
It's not good for you.
I can't believe I used to eat like bowls of cereal and then
Now that is the best bedtime snack.
and go to bed. Oh God, I would be up all night refluxing if I did that now.
Well, that happens sometimes. Ice cream. That's another. I love ice cream.
I can eat popcorn before I go to bed. But anyway, let me. Okay. Well, I think we talked about my popcorn recipe last time. Didn't
Yes, we did.
We don't need to be doing recipes on this show. All right. Johnny Longfeather asked a question. We were talking about the CDC. By the way, all of our questions this week are about COVID, which is hilarious because the reason Tacie isn't here is because she finally got COVID.
She's got the vid.
After all this time, 4 years
Congratulations,
later.
Tacie. Welcome to the club.
Or
Her
3.5
little
years
COVID
later.
cherry is gone.
Yeah. So she is miserable and downstairs. But, the CDC has relaxed their isolation requirements. They just say now if you haven't had a fever in 24 hours and you've been getting better for 24 hours, go back to work. And so Johnny Longfeather was like, well, it's because the virus is has weakened, right? Not because Fauci's a liar and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of the latter, but it really is mostly that it has become endemic. It's not even that the virus itself has gotten, quote unquote, that much weaker, although it is mutated to the point where it has become a truly upper respiratory. So it's not settling in the lower respiratory tract as much anymore. And it is more upper respiratory, which means that it's less. How can it kill you if it's in your throat and nose for the most part? But what that did when it did that was it made it more transmissible.
Yes.
So the basic reproductive number of COVID when it first started was 2.4. In other words, one person could infect 2.4 people in an idealized population.
Okay.
And these variants is like 10 or 12. You know, Omicron was, I think its basic reproduction number was 12, which is right along with measles. So one person can infect 12 people.
Right.
So anyway, so it's advantageous for the virus not to kill the host, for the host to live as long as it can, and to be able to transmit it to everybody else as readily as it can. And the easiest way to do that is become upper respiratory rather than lower respiratory.
Gotcha.
And there you go.
Gotcha.
So it becomes less virulent. But all of the coronaviruses have done this. I am convinced, Mel B, you and I haven't talked about this, but see what you think, that there are 5 other circulating endemic coronaviruses that cause colds. And they'll kill maybe 10, 20,000 people a year, usually the really vulnerable elderly, et cetera. And in the old days, we used to just say, well, it was atypical pneumonia or viral pneumonia. We never knew what it was. Now we can test for all these things because of COVID. But I am convinced that every single one of those coronaviruses, when it first emerged, did exactly what COVID-19 did. Was, it caused a lot of inflammation in adults, particularly that had never had it before, and maybe a lot of them died. There may have been a global pandemic. And when I say a lot, I mean, compared to who would have died if the thing hadn't happened to them. And but when you're in the age of the plague of Justinian, this coronavirus pandemic is a fucking piker.
Yeah.
The plague of Justinian, which was Black Plague, but it was a really shitty variety of it, was just horrendous, And then, you even just talk about the Spanish flu, 1918 influenza, that caused 10% of people that got it died, but only 10% of the population got it. But it still killed 1% of the world's population. It's a big number. So, this thing's kind of a joke in that regard. And now what's happened is that it has become endemic like the other ones. And the CDC's like, we're going to do with it what we do with RSV.
Okay.
Is if you're getting better, you're fine, go back to work.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
just fuck it. Just fuck it.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And so I went to find their isolation requirements because Matthew and the Fluid family has COVID.
Okay.
And I was going to show them a link. Well, they've all been archived. There isn't. I could not find a single thing on the CDC that specifically talked about COVID-19 isolation. It's all been archived.
But isn't it crazy how that is mutated so quickly? But something like measles.
Yeah,
It's
right.
much
Sticks
slower.
around
It's a
forever.
much slower mutating.
Well, if
virus.
it's mutating at all. I mean,
Yeah.
when you take a measles vaccine or if you get measles, you are protected for life.
For life,
True
right.
for chicken pox as well. So it is very interesting. It is interesting. Those things are so ingrained that they apparently there's not a lot of pressure for them to mutate, or maybe they're not able to. It may be that they are unable to mutate because if they did, then they would lose something that allows them to infect people. I don't know. That's interesting. It'd be fun to get a virologist on here and ask him that. Because you're right. There are some really stable viruses out there, measles, chicken pox, lots of other ones that aren't quite as common to us. And then, and then you got influenza that changes every season.
Every time around the sun.
Now they're very close to a universal influenza vaccine, by the way.
That'd be Goodness.
And that one, you'll just get one shot when you're a kid, maybe a booster or two, and then you'll be done. So anyway, it'd be good. I'd like fuck influenza.
I agree.
I'm done with it. Well, it killed one of our listeners, almost killed another one. They were both friends of the show. And lots of other people, and influenza has caused a lot of mayhem over the decades that humans have been keeping track of these things. So it can kiss my ass. So if we can get a vaccine that'll basically put an end to it, I'm all in favor of it.
Right on.
All right. Anything else from the Fluid family? If you want to join the Fluid family, by the way, go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. And
You've got a question from Cardiff.
Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we'll do that one on the podcast. Thank you for the $2 Canadian. No, $2.79 Canadian. What's that worth? Like 30 cents?
I think 35 cents maybe.
That's such a hack joke. I think Canadian dollars are about at parity with us, right?
Yeah.
I remember I went to a Canadian casino and I was trading in my money. I was like, "Can I? Here's $2,000. Can you turn it into 2,000 American?" And they were like, "No."
Hey, and I've got a great question I just saw way back from Live Ween. He wants to know Grateful favorite. Your favorite Grateful
0.74 United States dollars.
Favorite Grateful Dead songs? Oh gosh.
Oh well.
Bertha Ripple.
And China Cat Sunflower. What is it? No, what's that one? Do. You know that one?
Yep.
What is it? China Cat
yep.
Sunflower. What is it?
Sunflower. Yeah, they kind of run them together.
No, they don't. There's a name for it.
China Cat Sunflower. I love
Dark Star. Okay.
Dark Star. So yes.
Well, we should do Dark Star.
Ooh, that takes a lot of work. Eyes of the World. The version they did with Branford Marsalis beckoning back in the good old days, where he just takes about a 10-minute run with that sax. It's fabulous.
You don't like Touch of Grey?
I like Touch of Grey. I've got a little.
I know a lot of the
touch.
Deadheads hated it because it hit the top 40.
Yeah, exactly, because it was a
pop
hit
song. It's like, oh, now people are listening to our band.
Right on. So thank you, Live Ween.
Yeah. Live Ween. By the way, Carl from WATP and trucker Andy and I are going to Asheville, North Carolina to see Ween live. I'm very excited about that.
Hey, My Little Soft Cheese is over in Asheville right now.
Is that a band?
No, my
your
little-
daughter, Bree. That would be a great name for like an alt band.
My Little Soft
Cheese.
My Morning Jacket and stuff like that. My Little Soft Cheese.
I love it.
Her and her friend went over to eat lunch.
Oh, yeah. Well, good for them. Nobody gives a shit.
No.
No, not really.
Hopefully they have fun, though.
Oh, God, Mel B.
Get your hand off my penis!
Okie doke. Let's see what we got here. Let's do. People were calling in about what to do with your ashes.
Oh,
and we need to do that. Let's listen to
I
this.
think Mel answered those questions.
Yeah, but these are people who
currently have them.
They're responding to that.
Oh, okay.
This is Michelle from Los Angeles.
Hey, Michelle.
Listening to your show right now. I heard the bit about dropping your ashes in the ocean is your
That was your bit, right, Mel B?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. See, people listen to you.
preferred method. It made me think of what my actual desire is. If you've ever seen how people's ashes can become like a part of a wreath, where basically they put your ashes into an object that looks as if it's like a wreath, the beginnings of one. They drop you in the ocean, and then, fish and the natural wildlife and shit build up.
I thought she was saying a wreath, like a Christmas
That's what I
wreath.
thought
It's like,
she was
no,
saying,
I'm not
right?
doing that. But
No.
a reef, R-E-E-F. Now, that's a cool idea.
On it, and you become part of the nature. I think that's a pretty fucking cool spin on the whole ocean ashes thing. So just wanted to
Wasn't one of yours about making a fish habitat or something, though?
Yes, I believe so. You couldn't do that, and it cost a few $1,000s. They'd make you into something that they could dump in there, and the fish would love you.
Okay. Well, so Michelle, Mel B already did that one, but thank you, though. No, I think it's a cool idea. I would do that one. Let's see.
Hey, Joe from Orange County.
Hey, Joe.
What about turning your ashes over to a tattoo artist and getting a tattoo with your loved one's ashes infused with the ink? Later.
Can somebody look that up and see if that's doable?
Sure, I'll look it up.
Because that's not a bad idea. I wish, Carissa was our tattoo goddess, so I wish she were here. But if I don't see why you couldn't do that unless, what are you going to say?
And then their ashes would be in you?
Yeah, you would. What they're talking about is that you would mix up the ashes with the black ink, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to, and then they would, use it to, you'd dip the needle in and do your artwork with it. What does it say, Scott?
Yeah, what they're saying is you can actually do that. They're called ritualistic or commemorative tattoos. You can actually mix just a little bit of the ash in with the normal ink. Yep.
Yeah.
So you can do it.
I don't think I'd love anyone enough to want their dead carcass inside me in any way.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's a little creepy.
It is a little weird.
Yeah. Well, what I mean, people do weird things when people die. That one woman had the brain dead husband, and she jacked him off until he ejaculated, which just shows even brain dead guys can get a rod and ejaculate. And she did it so she could get sperm and have a baby with him later. And she collected the semen. Yeah. So people do interesting things when you die. So that's probably one of the least weird things is making a tattoo out of it.
Yeah, probably so, I would say, yeah.
Now, what would be really interesting is if you hated your spouse and then when they died, you took their ashes and then you turned it into a tattoo of your new, your new squeeze or something like that. Yeah? No?
I don't think so.
No. Well, fun,
that's
Scott.
bad mojo.
Is it?
It
could be.
juju,
Yeah, that would be. It'd be hard to get rid of. Okay, Dr. Scott. So, NP Mel B. Let's go through the super chats here real quick. Myrtle Manus gave out, it looks like 20 Weird Medicine memberships. So when you're in the Fluid family, make sure that you turn on gifted memberships, and then you can get a gifted membership if somebody does that. And then let's see here. I saw another one. Live Ween, $1.99. Right. Thank you. Long time, first time. Thank you.
And
favorite Grateful Dead songs. Well, we answered that. Very good. And celebrate their first super as on a live stream. Very good. Okay, thank you. Cardiff Electric, Canadian, $2.79. How do I cure the virus from the pics of boys who want to be girls that you sent me? Stop it. Cease and desist.
Well, wash your hands first, young man.
Right, cease and desist.
Wash your hands first.
All right. But thank you all for this super chat. You don't have to do that.
Yes.
But I think Myrtle's going to give out memberships at the beginning of broadcasts for a while. So if you make sure you have your memberships turned on. I see Tracy with an eye still isn't a member, and Talia didn't get one. So, but I don't think I can do it. Anyway, all right. So check that. I forgot we're recording. All right, I have a couple of questions left here, Dr. Scott. Now, if you want to join the Fluid family, go to youtube.com/@weirdmedicine. I was trying to say that earlier, and Dr. Scott got all distracted by Cardiff Electric super chats. All right, let's try this one.
Hi, Dr. Steve. I have a question about the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah.
My wife is currently 17 weeks pregnant, and she was offered through her work to get the Pfizer vaccine. She would absolutely get it if she wasn't pregnant, but there's no data, or we couldn't find any. Is there any risks related to pregnancy? Thank you.
Okay. I'm not sure what he's talking about, the 5-year vaccine. Is this something?
I thought you said Pfizer, but I don't.
Oh, Pfizer
I
vaccine.
think, Steve,
okay.
I think I'm not sure,
okay,
yeah.
that's what it was. Absolutely,
Which
that's
makes
what
more
it was.
sense, yeah.
I was like, is there a new vaccine that I'm not aware of? So all I can do is tell you what the CDC says. Because if I start spouting out my opinions on this, then all of a sudden we get a warning put on our webpage and all this stuff. But the CDC says that people who are pregnant should stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines and get an updated COVID-19 vaccine in the fall of 2023. And then they cite evidence that the mRNA vaccine is safe in women with pregnancy. So it's a study showed no increased risk for complications like miscarriage, preterm delivery, stillbirth, or birth defects. So what they're saying there is there's no risk to the baby. Is there risk to the mother? They're not saying that there is. So what I did was I went to the citations. And it says, here's the safety and effectiveness of maternal COVID-19 vaccines among pregnant people and infants. This is from Obstetrics and Gynecology Clinics of North America, 2023, in June. And so I pulled up the article that they referenced there, and I looked at it, and it is in, a decent journal. It's in some shitty journal. It's Elsevier, Obstetric and Gynecology Clinics of North America. And they said, their conclusions were that mRNA COVID-19 vaccine is similar in pregnant people to non-pregnant people as far as prevention of hospitalization. And we do know that pregnant women are more at risk from respiratory viruses. That is a fact. And maternal COVID-19 vaccine reduces the risk of SARS-CoV-2 infection and COVID-19 associated hospitalization in infants younger than 6 months. So it is the people that are very old, very pregnant, or very, very, very young that are at the most risk, even though that's a relative risk. So then I looked at the bottom. So when you look at these studies, you can see who's paying for these studies. So, if Pfizer had paid for this study, I might have had a little bit more grain of salt kind of thing when I'm looking at this. But this work was funded by the CDC. So now the CDC, some people look at that and go, well, they've got an agenda, they are. But at least it wasn't funded by the pharmaceutical industry, although I think maybe the pharmaceutical industry may partially fund the CDC. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying some people have said that. So I'm not a conspiracy nut. But I think that you guys have to make up your own mind. That's the thing with this is I was always anti-mandate. Make up your own mind. If she's at high risk for complications from COVID, that's when the vaccine has been demonstrated to do the most good. Mm-hmm. Mel B almost died from COVID. And, I'm old, and because of my age, it took out 1/8 of my lungs. So I take the vaccine. That's my choice. People are like, well, you're a sheep. It's like, no, I'm looking at risk versus benefit. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. The risk of the vaccine for me is about 1 in a million. The risk of COVID, something bad happened to me, is, might be 1 in 97, but that's still
significant difference.
A huge difference, right?
Right on.
I mean, the odds are still in my favor if I do nothing, but they're way, way, way more in my favor if I do that one thing. So, but that's my choice. I'm not saying that should be somebody else's choice. Mm-hmm. So there you go. So, all right. But according to all of this data, they're no worse off taking it when you're pregnant, and might even be somewhat better off as far as the infant is concerned, although, this really is an old and sick person's disease. They're the ones that need to be afraid of it, if anybody's going to be afraid of it. All right. And now we have medication. So if you get it and you're in that risk group, take the Paxlovid. And if you're a doctor and you're not prescribing that stuff, you can kiss my ass. Mm-hmm. You can fuck right off. How about that?
Sounds good.
Yep. For fuck's sake.
Yep, I know.
I mean, outpatient remdesivir, outpatient Paxlovid. Both of those will reduce hospitalizations by 90% and commensurate for death.
Yep.
You know, if you're not going to the hospital, you're not dying. And the fact that these things, they were just giving it away. Somebody I know got molnupiravir the other day because they're on 1 million, psych medicines and they can't take Paxlovid. And they're just like, I'm getting my wallet out. And they're like, no, it's free.
Wow. Wow.
All right?
Oh, my God.
Cut it out. Stop it. Jesus. No reason for any of this anymore.
No.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm not answering another fucking COVID question for the rest of this show. We've answered them all.
Yep.
Yep. Make up your own mind.
Wash your damn hands.
If you're at high risk, yes. And right. And I
Keep
think
your damn hands
actually,
clean.
shoot, I just deleted a Stacy question, which was exactly about that. What's the best thing to do to keep from catching it? And
Hey,
he's right.
Dr. Steve, got a question for you.
Wash your hands.
I've been trying to avoid the whole COVID stuff for the most part.
Yeah, no kidding.
Since the vaccinations are coming out, vaccines and everything, does that just protect you from catching or contracting the COVID?
Wait, is this some old question from him? Like from 2020?
It doesn't stop COVID. It's not like it's covered your body in Lysol or something such as that to kill it.
Okay, yeah, I think this is an old question. That's funny. I don't know how that snuck in there, but yeah, wash your hands. The one thing that masks do in this age with a reproductive number of 12, masks do nothing. But what they do is they keep you from sticking your dumb fingers and your dumb noses in your mouth. I used to, our old boss, I used to have meetings with her, and in the middle of the pandemic, she'd be biting on her nails and sticking her fingers in her mouth. It's like, I cannot believe you're doing that. You do that.
I'm horrible.
That's
I bite my nails down.
You're the opposite
quick.
of horrible, though.
Yeah.
I'm always touching my face, scratching my eyes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I try to stop. I figure what's the point?
oh, I don't think I've put my finger in my nose since 2020. I just stopped that shit cold. But that's what a mask will do.
Yeah.
If you ask me what good is a mask, I mean, you see Taylor Lorenz with an N95 mask having a meeting with, what's that woman from Libs of TikTok, and she's wearing an N95 sitting outside in an outdoor cafe. That's nuts. That's just crazy. But if you're real bad about sticking your finger in your nose, maybe. I mean, it will help prevent that. And don't stick your fingers in your eyes either, because that's another road of entry.
Mouth,
That's
nose,
how I
and
got
eyes.
it.
Mouth, nose, and eyes.
I didn't get it by sticking my finger in my eye. I got it by somebody, spewing viral particles under my face mask and up into my eye. And that's how I got it the first time. But anyway.
That's good stuff.
All right.
Let's do it.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. Very good. Well, listen, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks to everyone who's made this show happen over the years. Listen to our Sirius XM show on Faction Talk Channel, Sirius XM Channel 103, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, on demand, and other times at Jim McClure's pleasure. Many thanks to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules, podcasts, and other crap. Until next time, check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking, get off your asses, get some exercise. We'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Thanks, everybody.